Fran, what did you want to stress to your team? What did you stress to your team after it came off the court Saturday night?
Yeah, we did some good things in that game. It got away from us there, like in the second half, and I thought our decision-making in terms of shot selection and so forth wasn't what it needed to be. Probably needed some longer possessions. But I thought we had some guys that I thought played well. Some guys didn't play well. It's one game, and we're on to the next.
It seems like Desante Bowen took a step forward in Florida. How would you assess that?
Yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, I'm giving him, pretty good amount of playing time, and would like to play him even more. I just think he's terrific, and it's great to watch him grow. He's still learning, but he plays with an aggressive mindset, which is exactly what we want from him.
Fran, are there games where you look back and you just miss shots and there's really not a lot you could have done strategy-wise?
Well,
Does that happen much?
That was part of it. There's always games that stick out where you just, we got good shooters. We didn't, we were, 3 for 17, I think. You think back to the Richmond game last year, we didn't shoot. Patrick made a couple, and I think he made 4, and nobody else made any. We had some pretty good shooters on that team, and it's one game, it's one day. Sometimes it's the team you're playing. They don't make any shots, and you win, and you look great. They didn't make any shots. You try to make sure that you play really good defense so that they don't. I mean, they got after us pretty good, but we had some clean looks that didn't go from good shooters. It's another thing you just say, all right, okay, learn from this. It wasn't a happy experience. We got beat, but learn from it and stay focused on the next one, because every game plan is different. And, Georgia Tech plays differently than TCU, played differently than Clemson.
What do you see out of Georgia Tech?
Well, they changed defenses. I like their team. They've got a lot of different players in the, sort of 6'4" to 6'7" range that can score and can get their own shot. They can switch. They can play man. They can play zone. They're active. They've got some depth. They're really quality ACC team, as you would expect.
This is a wrap for the ACC Big Ten Challenge. How did you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I don't know that I feel any strongly one way or the other. I mean, it was something that I think we appreciated. We have great respect for that conference, and the series was competitive. I think it provided what we were looking for at the time. You had marquee matchups early in the season, but there's any number of different ways you can accomplish that task. We'll find some good teams to play. Won't be a problem. And who knows how many league games we're going to end up playing down the road. So everything's changing.
Looking at the experience in Florida as a whole, playing back-to-backs, extending your bench, young guys dissecting, scouting reports on back-to-back days. I mean, just what are kind of some general takeaways you have in your team and what you
Well, I think that's the important thing, that you understand. You go on the road and you got to lock into the first scout, play a really good team, play a hard-fought game, and you go back to the hotel and be really professional. We had a meeting. It's probably 12:30 a.m. and get them up the next day, and you're trying to put it all in a very short period of time. That's what tournament play is like. I think it's why all of us really want to play in a tournament atmosphere at some point if we can, because you hope to be playing. Obviously, we're playing a Big Ten tournament, but also the NCAA tournament. So, I think it was good for the young guys in particular. I think everybody thinks, wow, it's great that, all these tournaments are in sort of destination locations and the weather's nice, and it really doesn't matter where the games are for the players. It's good for the fans, the families that go. We're just pretty much locked into the hotel, going through walkthroughs, going to shoot-arounds, locking into film, reading the scouting report, processing it, and then getting ready for the game.
How was the preparation between Saturday night flying back here and then the Georgia Tech?
Yeah, we got back pretty late. I think we landed around 1. Kids probably weren't settled until closer to 2 by the time we got their bags off and back on the bus. But, that's part of it, so we got together yesterday, obviously, and, it was a long day, not in terms of running them, but, processing and, show some clips from the games in Florida, and start preparation for Georgia Tech, get some shots up, get the blood flowing, and we'll practice today.
Ernie Lewis looked very confident with his pull-up jumpers Saturday night. You expect we'll see a continuation of the offensive progress that
I thought he was really good defensively too. I mean, I thought he was terrific down there. Really fought defensively. Made some adjustments, from Friday to Saturday. But you're right. I mean, he was looking for his shot. He's making threes. He's making pull-ups. He's getting to the rim. And I think, and I've said this, we saw that last year in him. And then, when he got hurt, he was just having trouble with his pull-up and his finishing, and it wasn't his fault. He had that wrist injury, and he couldn't finish. But he was doing that for the better part of last year as well. So now you're seeing that continue. He's playing with great confidence. I'm very, very happy with him.
You've got a bit of a break after this game. How do you use that, and does it come at a good time?
I think it's nice to have a little bit of a break at some point. We've always sort of, had one sometime around finals. They are students, so you want them to focus a little bit academically, which is hard because it's such a grind, and it takes great maturity and professionalism on their part, and it's also some understanding on our part to make sure we handle that time period properly. But they all know we have a tough stretch coming up, after this game as well. And again, we talk about it all the time, but that's what we sign up for. So we'll get them ready. 2-part
question on Tony. How was just how he played? I know he's playing a little hurt over the weekend, and how did he come out of this weekend health-wise?
Yeah. I thought from a health perspective, he looked like himself. I mean, he didn't look like he was struggling with his explosiveness or his athletic power. I think you're right. I think he was sore, and I was pretty pleased with the fact that he could play back-to-back. I was concerned about that, quite honestly. Could he go back-to-back and still be effective? He'll go through some stuff today. Came through it okay. We saw him yesterday, obviously, and he was with Brad. I think he'll be fine for tomorrow.
Coach, the University of Iowa is partnering with the V Foundation to help raise money for Iowa's AYA program, and in conjunction with the Jimmy V Classic. Can you just speak on a little bit about the AYA program and the importance of raising money?
Well, it's really exciting, for us as a program, and I think as an institution, and it's something that obviously Dick Vitale has been so great in all the things he does for the V Foundation, but to have our Center for Advancement and the Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center work in conjunction with the V Foundation, in particular for the AYA part of the Cancer Center. AYA, of course, is Adolescent and Young Adult Cancer Program. We're one of the few in the Midwest that has one at our hospital. It's those cancer patients in that age range from 13 to 31 that have not had the same outcomes as others. And the programs that really started, because Margaret and I were at the front end of starting this program here with Dr. Weiner and Dr. Vias at the time, has made a great impact on not only the patients themselves but their families. And there's a lot of money that's needed. So, really hopeful that folks will step up and help, because, we were obviously in that position with Patrick. When you have a child in that range, you want to be able to know that you have the ability locally to pretty much have everything that you need. And it's not just the treatment itself, it's everything that comes with it, because there's a dramatic change in the life of the person that is diagnosed in that age range. So we're just thrilled to be a part of it, and thankful to be participants in this incredible event.